Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Hello.
Good
Hello.
morning, sir.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So, previous day we were reading the chapter Ivan tries an O level, and we continue the chapter again. Before that, let us discuss today's word. What is the word I had sent you on the group? What is the word? Yes, any one of you? What is the word?
Sir, desideratum.
Yes, desideratum. And what is the meaning of the word desideratum? Mean
Something
Something
wanted.
that we want or needed.
something wanted or needed. That is the word desideratum. So we continue the chapter with a recap. Recap is very, very important. Whatever we read in previous days, you must remember, you must keep it in your mind. Then only the purpose of the class is fulfilled. Otherwise, if we are going ahead and you are forgetting what we read the previous days, then it has no use. So, a quick recap of the chapter by any one of you, and then we continue. Yes. So, who would like to summarize the chapter up to where we read last time till there? And up to where we read, I can tell you, we read up to the paragraph that Evans had finished his exam had over, and there was a call from the governor, and governor had instructed Stephen through Jackson, told him to drop McClary the invigilator out of the main gate personally. And it had happened that Stephen had accompanied McClary the invigilator till the main gate, and when he had accompanied till the main gate, he had noticed certain changes in his personality. For example, earlier he found him to be too thick, now he was little slim, he was thin, and his accent, Scottish accent, had changed. So these are some of the changes Stephen had found in McClary, and Stephen was also happy that the governor had asked him to accompany the invigilator McClary till the main gate, because he was a new recruit. So it was a good thing for him. He was happy that governor is considering him and he is relying him. Yes, so till here we had read yesterday. But from the beginning, what happened? Quickly, any one of you can sum up what we read from the beginning, what happens in the beginning, and how does the story rise. Yes, anyone? Aditya? Yes, Aditya, do you remember? Gracie? Yes, Gracie. Speak louder. Can you hear me? Audible? Clear?
Yes, sir.
No, but I can't hear you. Your voice is very low. Be louder. Chirag?
Yes.
Yes, say yes louder, Gracie.
So,
Yes. Who will sum up the
Sir.
story? Who is going to sum up the story quickly for 3-4 minutes? Yes. Who is going to do it? Aditya, Gracie, Chirag? Who? Say yes or no.
so actually, I haven't attended the previous two classes, so I didn't get the story.
So you must read yourself. You know that we are reading this chapter. You had attended one or two classes of the same chapter, introduction, and so if you are not attending it, if you are absent for certain reason, you must at least take your responsibility that I must read the chapter. Yes, what about you, Gracie, Aditya? Gracie has left. She has left the room, and one more has left. So the moment I ask question, they leave the class. Yes, yes. Prakshal, you recap quickly for 2-3 minutes. So we began it.
Yes, sir.
We began it with the conversation going on between the board of secretary of board exam and governor. From there, in your own words, continue.
Yes, sir. Uh, Ivan wanted to. Ivan wants to clear exam of German O level. He asked general of his sale to conduct exam, and governor takes permission from the secretary of the examination board of Oxford University. They arrange all the needed material in his sale only, and McClary as an invigilator comes to take his exam. He was already getting tuition at his own sale from last few months, and when he is prepared, he after all gave that exam. McClary came, and Stephen and Jackson were prison officers. He were checking on him in few minutes again and again. When his exam gets over, McClary was leaving the cell, and one of the officer went with him to let him go out of the cell.
Okay, so we have read that Ivan was the jailbreak. He had escaped from the prison already 3 times, and since the governor didn't want to take any chance, he was very much conscious, curious, worried, anxious about conducting the exam. So he had word with the secretary of the board exam, and the secretary of the board exam had told him to arrange the exam in the jail in Ivan's cell itself, and he would send McClary, a parson, a priest from nearby Saint Max monastery. He would come and invigilate, and it had happened accordingly as they had decided. The invigilator came, the exam started, and before the exam, Ivan was checked. His all the things were checked, whether he is keeping any scissors, razor, knife, any weapon. So with the help of that, he could hostage the invigilator or the visitor. So they had removed all this thing, all the weapon from his possession. Only one thing they had left, that was the bobble hat. Ivan was keeping a bobble hat on his head, and he said, "It is my lucky charm. So please allow me to keep it on my head because it helps me a lot." And somewhere in the heart of Jackson, he was compassionate, he was kind, so he had allowed Ivan to keep the bobble hat, and the exam started, and the governor had put on a microphone. He was listening to everything which was going on in the prison between Jackson, Stephen, Ivan, and also when the invigilator came, he was listening to everything which was going on between them. And finally, the exam started, and during the exam, Ivan objected the presence of Stephen, that if he stands here, how can I write the exam? So Stephen was sent out of the cell, and time to time Stephen was observing Ivan and McClary, the invigilator. And then the exam got over, and after the exam got over, just before 5 minutes, there was a phone call from the governor, and it was order to Stephen to accompany the invigilator McClary till the main gate. And Stephen had done so. Stephen was accompanying McClary, the invigilator, till the main gate, and there was a conversation between Stephen and McClary. Stephen asked him, how do you think he has done? Will he pass? And McClary said, I don't think he would even pass. And that time he had noticed the changes in his voice, in his accent, in his personality, in his overcoat, in his weight, etc. So up to here we had read last time. Now we continue. Okay. So I just continue it, then I will ask one of you to read. Page number 81. Yes, those who were not there yesterday, come to page number 81. And the line I am going to read is, how did he get on, do you think? Asked Stephen as he walked beside McClary to the main gate. Oh, I can't think he is distinguished himself. I'm afraid. This Scot accent seemed broader than ever, and his long black overcoat, reaching almost to his knees, fostered the illusion that he had suddenly grown slimmer. Stephen felt pleased that the governor had asked him and not Jackson to see McClary of the premises. And all in all, the morning had gone pretty well. But something stopped him from making his way directly to the canteen for a belated cup of tea. He wanted to take just one last look at Evans. It was like a program he had seen on TV about a woman who could never really convince herself that she would the she had locked the front door when she had gone to bed. Often she would got up 12, 15, sometime 20 times to check the ball. So it was like this, that after the exam was over, Stephen also thought of giving a last look, a last check on Ivan. And his inner voice, his conscience spoke to him. So after accompanying the invigilator till the main gate, he just wanted to go for a cup of tea, belated cup of tea in the canteen. But instead of going there straightway, he thought just to check, just to have a final look at Ivan's cell. And when he went and checked Ivan there, he was shocked, surprised, frightened, and he cried. Now, why he cried? Why was he shocked and surprised? And after this, he shouts, Jackson. He calls to Jackson, and Jackson comes. And what he had seen that Ivan, sorry, not Ivan, he had seen that McClary was sprawled back on the chair in the cell. McClary, the invigilator, was sprawling back on the chair in the prison, and he was bleeding. He was bleeding all over the body from his head, and therefore he shouted. And suddenly he thought for a few seconds that this fellow who is lying on the chair is McClary, and the person who has gone is Ivan. The person whom he had accompanied till the main gate is Ivan. So Ivan had tricked him, and therefore he had called Jackson. Jackson also came to support him. And now what happens? What they talk, what do they do? We continue. Yes, so now who would like to read? Just tell me. Raise your hand. Who is going to read for the class? Okay, Prakshal Daga. Yes, go ahead where I left. Continue.
He re-entered the wing, made his way along to Ivan's cell, and opened the peephole once more. Oh no, Christ, no. There sprawled back in Ivan's chair was a man. For a semi-second Stephens thought it must be Evans, a grey regulation blanket slipping from his shoulders. The front of his closely cropped, irregularly tufted hair awash with fires, red blood which had dripped already through the small black beard and was even now spreading horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front.
So this is the description what
Stephen
he saw in the jail. He saw that he was dripping. He had cropped, irregularly tufted hair, awash with fierce red blood. So the person who was in the jail, lying on the chair, he was bleeding, and he had cropped hair, and he was bleeding all over the body, and therefore Stephen was frightened, and he shouted for help. So horribly over the white clerical collar and down into the black clerical front. So what is clerical collar? Clerical collar is the uh, religious collar worn specially by the Catholic priest, especially in foreign country, that is Europe, America, England, Italy, India also, but mostly it is there. In India, mostly the priests, the fathers, the parsons, the padris, they wear those white cloth that is called cassock. But there, they just wear a clerical collar, and everybody doesn't, only the priest, only the religious leader. So from that, he recognized that this is the parson, this is a priest who has been injured, who is lying, and Ivan had taken the get up of the priest, and he has escaped. Yes, continue.
Stephen shouted wildly for Jackson, and the words appeared to penetrate the curtain of blood that veiled McCleary's ears, for the minister's hand felt feebly for a handkerchief from his pocket and held it to his bleeding head, the blood seeping slowly through the white linen. He gave a long, low moan and tried to speak, but his voice trailed away, and by the time Jackson had arrived and dispatched Stephens to ring the police and the ambulance, the handkerchief was a sticky, squelchy wodge of cloth.
So it is shown that the priest who was lying, but remember, actually, you would come to know that the person who was lying there, he himself was Ivan, but in disguise of McClary. And the one who was accompanied till the main gate by Stephen, whom they were considering that that is Ivan. Ivan had escaped. No, actually, that was not Ivan. Ivan is the person who is here, who is in the get up of the priest, and his whole body was bleeding. He had a handkerchief. Now how they could not recognize him, identify him, because he had changed his get up. He had similar personality and face and everything like McClary, and also artificial blood and all those things he had managed to bring inside. Therefore, the governor Stephen Jackson, they could not recognize or identify him, and he was behaving very well. He was acting very nicely. He said, I know where he has gone. He was talking, he was saying something. He has gone to that way, he has gone to this way. So he was tricking the governor, Jackson, and Stephen. Now, Stephen had gone to call the police to inform the governor that something has happened, and we need an ambulance to admit McClary, the invigilator, to the hospital. They thought that this fellow who is there in the jail, he is McClary, but actually he was not McClary. He was Ivan himself in disguise of McClary. Continue.
McClary slowly raised himself, his face twisted tightly with pain. Nana worry about the ambulance man. All right. Get the police. I know where he closed his eyes, and another drip of blood splashed like a huge rain Huge red raindrop on the wooden floor. His hand felt along the table, found the German question paper, and grasped it tightly in his blood-stained hand. Get the governor. I know where Evans.
So he said, don't worry, don't call the ambulance. I know where he has gone. I am all right. So he is behaving as if he is supporting them. He is guiding them where Ivan had escaped. But actually he himself was Ivan, and he had a slip and something was written, but it was dirty with a splash of blood, and he gave it to them. He said, it is written here, where is gone. There was a German question paper, and he grasped it tightly in his blood and so actually this was also his trick. It was also his plan. Get the governor, get the governor. I know where Ivan is. I know where he has gone. Continue.
Almost immediately, sirens were sounding. Prison officers barked orders. Puzzled prisoners pushed their way along the corridors. Doors were banged and bolted, and phones were ringing everywhere. And within a minute, McCleary, with Jackson and Stephens supporting him on either side, his face now streaked and caked with drying blood, was greeted in the prison yard by the governor, perplexed and crying.
So,
We must got you to hospital.
yes, the van came and Stephen and Jackson, both of them supported him on their shoulder. They took him to the ambulance, and meanwhile, the governor had also arrived. So, he was greeted in the prison yard by the governor, and he was perplexed and grim. He was surprised and shocked. Yes, we must get you to hospital immediately. I just don't want any. You have called the police. So the governor said, we want you to admit to the hospital. You don't worry, nothing will happen to you. I don't want to have any blame on me or any blame on the authority. We have called the police. Yes, yes, they are on their way. But I'm all right, I'm all right, I'm all right. Look here, awkwardly. So Ivan is telling to the governor, look here. He opened the German question paper and thrust it before the governor's face. It's there. Do you see what I mean? Do you see what I mean? It's there. So he threw the question paper. He showed it on the face of the governor and told him, you see, on this question paper, it is mentioned where he is gone. So something is written in German language, if you could read it. The governor looked down and realized what McClary was trying to tell him. A photocopied sheet had been carefully and cleverly superimposed over the last originally blank page of the question paper. So on the last page of the question paper, there was a photocopy sheet was pasted, and the McClary, the invigilator, he was showing it to the governor, and governor understood what the invigilator McClary is trying to tell him. He took the slip from him and he was reading it. Yes, continue now.
You see what they have done, Governor? You see? His voice trailed off again as the governor, dredging the layers of long neglected learning, willed himself to translate the German text before him. Sie sollendem Skon, Britain, Plan, genau, folgen.
Yes,
You
so
must
this is
follow the
written,
plan and ready something. The
this is
vital point in time.
This is written in German language. So this line from Sei sollen dem Skon verberten plan genau folgen der Vechi. So Zetipunkiets Dei Metun war and des examens. You must follow the plan. So this is written in, many things are written in German language just to create the buzz, just to create the interest of the readers. So things are written there in German. Nobody understand German. I don't think anybody is there who understand German, even including me. So something was written on this slip, and McClary himself has said, I can translate it if you wish, but the governor didn't allow him. You must follow the plan already. Something The vital point in time is 3 minutes before the end of the examination, but something. Don't hit him too hard. Remember, he is a minister, and don't overdo the Scots accent when you are accompanying him to the main gate. So this thing was written that on the last page, the plan was written that he is a minister, he is a priest, he is a god man. So don't hit him too hard. Just hit him so that he doesn't die and you are able to escape. So this thing was written and it was understood, it was read by the governor. Now continue.
A fast approaching siren wailed to its crescendo. The great doors of the prison yard were pushed back, and a white police car squealed to a jerky halt beside them. Detective Superintendent Carter swung himself out of the passenger seat and saluted the governor. "What the hell is happening here, sir?" And turning to McClary, "Christ, who's hit him?"
Christ.
But
Christ.
McClary cut across whatever explanation.
Christ means, oh God, God, Jesus. Who has hit him? What has happened to him? So, who had arrived now? Superintendent Carter. Superintendent Carter had arrived with the van, with the passenger in order to take McClary to hospital, and now he is talking to the governor. He is inquiring all about the mishappening. Continue. Yes, continue. Read.
But McClary cut across whatever But McClary cut across whatever explanation the governor might have given. Elsfeld Way, officer, I know where Evans. He was breathing heavily and leaned for support against the side of the car where the imprint of his hand was left in tarnished crimson. In bewilderment, Carter looked to the governor for guidance. What?
So, whatever the governor was telling, not Ivan, McClary was telling, he was interrupting in between and he was trying to misguide, according to him, guide, but we know that he was misguiding him. And he said, Elsfield Way, officer, I know where he is gone. He has gone to Elsfield Way. In bewilderment, Carter, so Superintendent Carter, he was bewildered. Bewildered means confused, shocked and confused, in dilemma. And he asked, what is telling? What is going to explain? What? Tell me. Take him with you if you think he will be all right. He is the only one who seems to know what's happening. So the governor told him to take him with him, and if he's all right, he can help you. Carter opened the back door and helped McClary inside. He put McClary inside the van, and within a few seconds, the car leaped away in a spurt of gravel. So it was a gravel road and the car went in speed. Yes, now we continue.
Elsfield Way, McClary had said, and there it was staring up at the governor. From the last few lines of the German text, from Elsfield Way, drive to the Haddington roundabout where, yes, of course, the examinations board was in Elsfield Way, and someone from the board must have been involved in the escape plan from the very beginning. The question paper itself, the correction slip. The governor turned to Jackson Stephens. "I don't need to tell you what has happened, do I?" His voice sounded almost calm in its scathing contempt. "And which one of you two morons to was it who took Evans for a nice little walk to the main gates and waved him bye-bye?"
So now the governor was angry. Governor was shouting at them. He was scolding at them, and he's saying, "You understood now what has happened? Why I was so much worried? You know now." And which one of you two morons? Which stupid was that who had accompanied Ivan to the main gate and didn't even notice who was the person. It was me, sir, stammered Stephen. And Stephen said, sir, it was me. Just like you told me you had ordered me, you had phoned, and I had a word with you. So now the governor is surprised. He said, when did I? I never phoned, I never called. I could have shown. I didn't call you. What? Just like I told you, you say? What the hell you are saying? When you rang, sir, and told me to accompany the invigilator McClary to the prison, to the main gate, voice was, when was that? The governor voice was whiplash now. And the governor said, when was it? I never called it. You know, sir, about 20 past 11 just before. So 20 past 11, that is 11:20 you had called me. You blithering idiot man. It wasn't me who rang you. Don't you realize? But what was the use? So the governor said, no, I didn't call you, you idiot. But now what is the use of discussing all this? Now no use of scolding you and no use of discussing all this with you, because what has happened cannot be changed now. Yes, we continue. Yes, Prakshal, continue. Read.
But what was the use? He had used the telephone at the time, but only to try unsuccessfully once more to get through to the examinations board. He shook his head in growing despair and turned on the senior prison officer. As for you, Jackson, how long have you been pretending you have got a brain, huh? Well, I will tell you something, Jackson. Your skull is empty, absolutely empty. It was Jackson who had spent 2 hours in Ivan's cell the previous evening, and it was Jackson who had confidently reported that there was nothing hidden away there. Nothing at all. And yet Evans had somehow managed to conceal not only a false beard, a pair of spectacles, a dog collar, and all the rest of his clerical paraphernalia, but also some sort of weapon with which he had given McClary such a terrible blow across the head. Ugh.
Now the governor started blasting, shouting to Jackson. And he said, Jackson, you are a fool. You are an idiot. You are a stupid man. Do you think you have a good brain? No, your skull is empty. There is nothing in your brain. So he's such angry and he's shouting to Jackson, the senior officer, and he's telling, you were the one who had searched him, who had searched the Ivan's cell previous day. You had checked whether he had any weapon, scissors, knife, razor, etc. And you searched him very well. And how did he manage to give all this thing? And he had given such a terrible hit to the priest, to the minister. He could have even died. You are irresponsible man. It's very bad of you. So like that, he shouted first at Stephen and then second more at Jackson, because Jackson was senior. What is a dog collar? Dog collar, as I told you, dog collar is the collar which is worn by the clergymen, religious people, especially the Catholic Christian priest in Europe, in America, in England, also India also. So that is a dog collar. And clerical paraphernalia, also the tools used by the clergy, the priest, that might be the Bible and the church chronicle, this dog collar, cassock, all these things. That is the clerical paraphernalia. So he was very angry at Jackson also now. Yes, now continue. Continue.
A prison man begged. Yes, sir. A prison man begged alongside, but the governor made no immediate move. He looked down again at the last line of the German to the Haddington roundabout, where you go straight over and make your way to New Graben. New Graben? Where on earth? New something? New grave? Never heard of it. There was a war grave somewhere near Reading, but no, it was probably a code word, or and then it hit him. Newbury, God, yes, Newbury was a pretty big sort of place.
Okay.
But
So wait. So a prison van backed alongside, but the governor made no immediate move. So the governor did not go into the prison van, and he checked the paper, he checked the slip which was given to him by McClary, who was wounded, and he read the last line. And first he had read earlier McClary was guiding them to Elsfield Way. McClary told the governor and also the superintendent Carter to Elsfield Way. Elsfield, I know where he's gone. But now he read the last line and it was written in German, to the Haddington roundabout. So go to that place and take a round circle from there, where you go straight over and make your way to New Graben, and from there you make your way to New Graben. New Graben, where on earth? I have never heard this word, this place. Where is it? Now he's speculating. He's speculating, oh, this place is there. There was a war grave somewhere near Reading. But no, I don't know where is this place. And now he thought that this is a code word. This is a probably code word they have used for the actual location. And then it hit him, and the place was Newbury. God, yes, Newbury was a pretty big sort of place. But he rapped out his orders to the driver. So he told his order to the driver to take the van. He said, St. Eldad's police station and step on it. He told him to go to St. Eldad's police station and step on it. Take Jackson and Stephen here, and when you get there, ask for Bell. Chief Inspector Bell got that. So now another character, that is Bell, Chief Inspector, to investigate the matter. So he told the driver of the van, the driver of the vehicle, to go to St. Eldad and take Jackson and Stephen with you, and you receive Pell, the chief inspector. He leaped the stairs to his office, three at a time. So he was in hurry. He was climbing three stairs at a time.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes,
So what is the difference between inspector and superintendent?
there is a very big difference.
Yes, sir. I also want to know.
There is a very big difference. Okay, so actually this is a hierarchy, and if you have gone through the hierarchy of police or military, you would understand. So you begin your career, let us say somebody begins his career from constable post. It is a very low rank. Then constable to another, he would go to sub inspector, that is called SI, ASI, SI, then inspector, then later on he goes to different posts. Now you might have heard about DIG, IG, superintendent, that is SP. Now superintendent means the big in charge of the police. So let's take the example here, SP. What is the full form of SP? What is the full form of SP? Any one of you? SP, DYSP. Didn't hear? Yes or
So we have
no?
heard, but we don't know the full form.
Okay. SP is the superintendent of police, and DYSP is deputy superintendent of police. So that is the difference. SP is the superintendent. He is the supreme of the police officers under him. For example, constable, example ASI, SI, and whoever below his rank, whoever below his SP rank, they are his subordinate. Subordinate means his junior, and they have to follow his rule. Whereas superintendent will report either to the DGP or police commissioner if police commissionerate system is there. Now, which city has got police commissionerate system in Rajasthan? Which are the two cities? You are art students, so you must reply